your businesses, you are now planting time into your business. You are now planting. You know who else planted? Charlie. He planted. His life wasn't planted. He was a seed that was planted. So all of this could happen. Now that's too good. Come on, yeah, help me out a little better than that. I might go all the way to 2020 over there. Listen to this. Struggling is not a detour on the road to your success. It's just a landmark. Your struggle right now. Your struggle in this business, your struggle with your family, your struggle with your kids, what you're going through at home. It's not it's not a detour. It's not preventing you from getting somewhere you need to be. It's the landmark. Because you're going to be able to come back to this moment and say, it was that moment that pushed me that far. It was what I went through right there that got me, it helped me become who I'm supposed to be. All right, let's just say this. You know what else greater is? Greater is destiny, not destination. It's destiny. Greater is your destiny. It's not your destination. Your finish line. Stop chasing the stage. Stop chasing the pin. You'll get on that voyage when you begin to chase people. When you begin to empower people. It's not found in a pin. Your destiny is found in people. Oh, that's just, oh, keep going. I'm having a good time right here. This is all good right here. Here's the other thing. Destiny is the carrot. Let me back it up. Destiny is the finish line. Destination is the carrot. We often pursue that carrot. We see what's right there. And that's all we go after. Stop chasing t-shirts for $3K. That's silly. If a rookie bonus ain't enough to motivate you, you got some issues. I just don't know what I can do. You better figure it out. Because what's happening, there is a massive wave of momentum in Advocare. And you got two choices. Ride that baby all the way to your dreams or stand out in open water and let sharks eat you. Greater. Hear me out. Greater is contentment. Not comparison. Guys, stop comparing yourself to each other. Stop looking at each other and saying, why isn't that me? It doesn't matter why that's you. Comparison is an enemy of contentment. Not saying you don't pursue yourself and you don't go to become more and become better and study and do those things. Not that. But when you look in the mirror and you go, why am I not over there? That's comparison. There's people that are leaders that stood on the stage for years that still do it. I'm one of them. It's easy to look up here and go, man, they're really good. They're really sharp. Man, why can't I do that? When we begin to compare ourselves to everybody around us. When we look at each other and go, why is this happening to me? Why does my wife have cancer? Why is my child wayward? I don't know. But greater says today, I can be greater than I was yesterday. That you wake up tomorrow and you love greater than you love today. That's it. Ask your children this. Ask your wife this. Say, baby, did I love you more greater today than I did yesterday? Because if the answer is yes, you're greater. The way you talk to your kids, what you say to them, they'll be honest. Ask your kids. Especially when they're young. Eli is 7, just turned 8. Savannah 6.5, and you ask them anything, they'll just be straight up honest. One time, Ange and I were having this really cool talk on the way to church. We call it intense fellowship. And we were really going at it, man. It was woo, we were good. And Savannah says, from the back of the car, she says, y'all need to go to both services. So we went to both services. But your kids will be honest with you. But guys, set yourself free today. It's like reading Hamlet expecting Huck Finn. It won't even make sense. Like, why did he stab that guy on that raft? It wouldn't even really make sense. Well, how do I become greater? Let me wrap this up. How do I become greater? How do I do it? Two things. Two things you do. Number one, making sure I got them in order. These are really messed up. I didn't get them in order. Here we go. Two things. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You're not going to be embarrassed. Don't be afraid. Some of you are so afraid to talk to your neighbor. You're so afraid to talk to people at work. You're so afraid of what can happen because you go, well, Jason, what if I fail? What if you don't? What if you don't fail? What if you do get a rookie bonus? What if you do end up on the cruise? We're so afraid of being embarrassed. You know what's embarrassing? Trying to find the checkout line with the least amount of people so you can sign them WIC checks. And then everybody lines up behind you, and you kind of slide. See, some of y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Some of y'all do. And knowing that that's it, that you're providing for your family, that that's it, and as a man, that rips at your core. Like, why can't I be more? Why am I not more than this? Why? Because I'm comparing myself to other people. Don't be afraid. Walk out of this building this weekend and attack fear. Punch it in the face. Say, I will not be afraid. It doesn't matter what comes your way, you're not going to be afraid. Second thing is, don't hold back. Don't hold back. Holding back has got you where? Don't hold back. Because you're not going to come up short. You're not. This business ain't rocket surgery. It ain't. It really ain't. I was kidding. Don't hold back. Here's the last thing. Greater is a declaration, not a conversation. This ain't something you gotta go home. Let me talk to my wife. No, you don't need to talk to her. Go put your order in. Products on sale. Virtual office. Put your browser order in. She's been waiting on you to do something. See, listen to the ladies. It's a declaration. The Confederate Army, listen to this. The Confederate Army had a tactic they would use that they adopted from the Native Americans. Now, when we look at the Civil War, there was a North and a South, obviously. Now, the North was very industrial, modern day, very sophisticated, and the South was just some good old boys. Now, this ain't about who won and all that kind of stuff, because this ain't, they got nothing to do with it. My point is not in the actual war itself. So don't get all offended. Some people would. They would use this tactic. And it was said that there were battalions in the North, there were 1,000 or more people who would hear this and would shriek. One soldier explained and said, I always said if I ever went into a charge, I wouldn't holler. You ain't in the South. You gotta holler. He said, but the very first time I fired off my gun, I hollered as loud as I hollered at him until every breath came out. Colonel Keller Anderson of Kentucky's Orphanage Brigade said this about the rebel yell. He said, then arose that do-or-die expression, that maniacal maelstrom of sound, that penetrating, rasping, shrieking, blood-curdling noise that could be heard for miles, whose volume reached the heavens. Such an expression as never yet came from the throats of sane men, but from men whom the seething blast of an imaginary hell would not check while that sound lasted. These men would go into a battle, raging, and they had no skill. They were fighting an enemy that was better than them, was bigger than them, was stronger than them, but one thing they had was this yell. caused the North to just shudder. They would just yell. Y'all waiting for me to do it, right? Then it would sound different. But here's the thing, is that Southern Army, they had children, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, fighting this war for something they believed in. Well, I want to charge you today. We're going to do something that's going to set you free. But it's going to take your participation. I didn't come all this way to watch you sit here and let your dreams just go. Because you're going to walk out of here this day ready to attack whatever it is that's stopping you, ready to overcome whatever obstacles in your way, and ready to take whatever dream it is you've been wanting. There is our own version of a rebel yell we're going to do. A greater yell. Something that's going to charge you. Because here's what happens, is that there was a time in our business when we finally moved to Tennessee. I was lost. I didn't know who I was. And I went through this period where finally on the close, some goober didn't put their order in and we missed something and forgive me if you're that goober. Actually, they ain't here. Figures. And I ran outside. Papa Jim, you might remember this. As I called him up, he gave me some good advice, but then I'm bawling my eyes out because I run out the door. And I don't know what's happening. I can't control this. I can't fix this. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, this isn't even me. And I'm battling this, and there's no corporate office. You can't go over and get sparked. Oh, Drew Brees walks in. Oh, Jason Witten. I was corporate office. And I started running down the road. And I walked out. And I got to a part of the street where people wouldn't think I just lost my mind. But I didn't care. And I let out this, ah! And something just snapped. I'm serious. That's it. I've had enough. My wife needs more than this. My kids need me more than this. I don't know what I got to do, but I'm going to change this. And all I knew how to do was yell at that time. That's all I knew what to do. But yelling and changing, just letting out that scream. Some of you need to just do something. What keeps you back more than anything is just that fear. That unwillingness to let go and not hold back. But I'm thinking that there's 25 or so thousand people here at Advocare here tonight that are ready for something different. I'm thinking that there might be somebody in this room. Do I have anybody in this room that is ready for just a little bit of change in their life? Anybody that's ready to get up? Here's what I want you to do. Here's what I want you to do. Here's what I want you to do. I'm going to count it down from 10. And I want you to look at the person. See, diamonds are too sophisticated. They don't know what that is over there. They forgot what it is to be a silver. Come on. And we're going to call it the greater yell. And I want you to, when I get to 1, I want you to high five 2 or 3 people around you, and I want you to let out the loudest scream you can possibly let